So I came across a video on TikTok that was recorded by Spence. She's a musician and she was living in Canada but moved to Ghana. And she connected with a person by the name of Mr. Logic. Apparently, he's a music manager. He is a media personality out there, very well known from what I hear. And in the video, she mentioned that he was threatening her life. So I had the opportunity of sitting down with Monique, as well as another lady by the name of Shelly Lewis. She is an American citizen. She had also moved to Ghana, and she also has an experience to share with Mr. Logic. So before I play the interview, let's just take a look at the video that Mo Spence recorded.
Mr. Logic has been threatening my life.
Don't step to Ghana. I'll murder you.
You're serious right
I'm
now?
telling you the truth. Yes, it's going to get very bloody for you.
Good, because I'm
Do you understand what
recording.
I'm telling you?
I'm
You better
recording
talk-
this too.
You better
I'm recording this
record
conversation,
it. Record it.
and it will
You
be
better
sent
you
to the
talk
police.
Like, he's threatened my life multiple times. I recorded the conversations of him threatening my life. I have screenshots of him threatening my life. He even told my mother that he's coming for my life. He told my mother he's coming for my life. He's even sent me emails where he's threatening my family's life. He's like, say, if I don't keep quiet and if I don't resolve this issue with him privately, that he will come after me and he will come after my family. He's like, when I think that everything is fine and quiet and normal, that's when he's gonna come after me and my family.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty serious threat to me. So now let's take a look at the interview I did with both Mo Spence and Shelley. I am here with Mo Spence and Shelly Lewis, two victims of Mr. Logic. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get into this. I want to start with you, Mo. So we know that this all started with you putting out the video saying that Mr. Logic had threatened your life.
Yes.
And it has gone viral. So I first want to thank you for agreeing to do this interview and share with us what is going on. So let me just ask you, how did you start to work with this Mr. Logic person?
Well, my music was put out there, and a friend of Mr. Logic heard my music, and he was urging that I meet him. So I ended up meeting him. He heard my music. He loved the music. He said that he wanted to do a trial run with me. So he invited me to Accra. I was living in Koforidia at the time. So he invited me to Accra, said that he would like for me to go into the studio to do a trial song. So that's what I did. The song is called Be Happy. I will be releasing that song very soon. And he really loved it. He loved the song so much. And then he said, okay, you know what? I would like to sign you under my label. And I'm going to sign you in front of the media so that, it's official. Throughout this whole time, I've been asking him for this actual contract, because I said, I'm not going to sign the contract until I actually see the contract. So he kept procrastinating. He's like, yes, don't worry. The contract is coming tomorrow, Sunday, Tuesday, and the contract didn't come. So, right there should have been a red flag. So then the day of the unveiling, that's when the contract was there. However, because it was just like really busy, I didn't even get a chance to look at the contract still, So I ended up signing the contract in front of the media. When we started to work together, like everything was cool. We had actually a really cool work relationship. When it came to promoting my music and getting the music out there, he just kept pressuring me, like, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that, you have to pay for this. Mind you, he told me in the contract, when he said that the contract was coming, he said that I would pay for 60% and he would pay for 40%. That never happened. I ended up paying 100% for everything.
So just ask you, as an artist,
yes,
when you sign with a record company, I'm assuming he owned some sort of record company or production company for musicians.
Yes.
Are you supposed to be the one funding your career, or are they the ones that invest in your music career?
They are supposed to be investing in the career, because he told me that he was a label. right? That it was a label. Later on, he changed his talk and said, no, I'm actually in management. So I would have to pay for my work to be done, and then he would provide the services by, having me work with top-notch producers and video directors and, radio presenters, TV, the whole work. So he was basically acting like the middleman. Yes, for that.
Okay, so let's just get to it. How much did he take for, and why is he threatening your life?
He has taken a total of around 30,000 Canadian dollars from me.
And what was it for?
It was for the work that was supposed to get done, which is the music videos, the radio promo, media stuff, tours, and for rent, because he was to help us get rent, like get a house, and for our work permit.
And the work permit was supposed to be for how long?
The work permit was supposed to be for 3 years.
And what did he ultimately get for you out of all of the money he took from you?
So I did 2 years upfront of rent, okay, and then 3 years for the work permit. I only got 1 year work permit from him, and 1 year, almost 1.5 years of rent. He did not pay the rent. Yeah.
So he took 30,000 from you.
Yes.
10,000 was supposed to be for your permits.
Correct.
For yourself, your father, your daughter.
Yes.
And then the rest of the money, because I do know as a Ghanaian in Ghana, you have to pay for a year up front with rent with a lot of the places, right? So he took 1.5 years of rent.
Yes.
And what happened to all that money?
So he had to squander the money because
your career, how's your career? How did your music career fare in Ghana?
So at first it was going okay. I shot 1 music video. I shot 2 music videos, but 1 only came out. That's really it. Did maybe a couple interviews on radio. That was really it. I actually found out that the other directors that I was supposed to be working with, he told me that he paid them and that we were just waiting for the directors to be ready for us because they were traveling, going to different places, working with other artists. So we had to wait for them. I found out from the directors that Mr. Logic never paid them. I found out from the producers that I've been making these records with, that Mr. Logic never paid them either. When we were doing the video shoots, photo shoots, and we had makeup artists, he was abusing the makeup artists. He was abusing the dancers. He was not paying them. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe. So he was just taking all the money for himself, got himself a new house, got himself a brand new car, and was bragging online, saying how he was spending 8,000 Ghana cedis per day, showing off.
On what?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Up to I really don't know.
So fast forward to he's now threatening your life.
Yeah. Yes.
So why is he threatening? Like, how did we get to the point where he's threatening your life?
Okay, so the reason why he threatened my life is because Shelley will speak on it. So he took 10,000 US dollars from them to so-called invest into my career. So he told me that because that $10,000 that he took from them was for my career, that I needed to pay it back. And I said,
refuse. He's now.
Exactly. Right. I refused. I said, look, they sent you the money, you owe them. I don't owe them the money because you were the one who took the money from them. And there's no proof that you used it for my career. Because where's the proof? Where's the proof? My career has not gone anywhere. Because he was not doing the work. He was taking the money and he was not doing the work. So when he told me that I have to pay them back, I said, no, I don't. You need to pay them back because you took the money from them. It was him who took the money, so he needs to pay it back. And he says, yeah, if you talk like this, I will murder you. You know, that's why he said what he said in the clip.
Okay. So
Yes.
I'm going to just tell you some of the things that he's saying in response to, your claims that he threatened your life and why. One of the things he said is because you threatened his life first. So he was just threatening your life in response. That's the first thing. Secondly, he's saying that, the reason why you are acting this way and, going around saying these things that are not true as far as he's concerned is because he rejected your advances to, have intimate relations with him. What do you have to say about that?
Oh my goodness. Everything that comes out of Mr. Logic's mouth is a lie. Absolute lies, lies, lies beyond lies. Everything he said in that interview, every single word that came out of his mouth were complete lies. I guess he was maybe trying to do damage control or whatever it was, but no, he's a liar.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yes,
You are now where?
I'm in Canada right now. I'm in Canada.
So you're in Canada. We
Yes,
have this person who's threatened your life, and he's also threatened your family's life, as you said in
yes,
your video. So your
yes,
father and your daughter, who's 11 years old, is in Ghana, and you're
yes,
in Canada. And what is happening? Like, you obviously want your family to come back home. I
yes,
would imagine, I know for me, I would be very afraid knowing that, there's a warrant out for his arrest, but he's not been apprehended. And he's
right,
your life and your family's life, and your daughter and your father are not here with you. So what
exactly.
your plan? What situation are you in with trying to get them home, and what help do you need?
Exactly. Because I've been trying to resolve this issue with Mr. Logic, for months, and I'm getting it's to no avail. So he told me that if I go public or if I try to call the police on him or anything, then he would come after me, he will kill me and he will kill my family. That's what he said. So, and he kept threatening me. He kept threatening me. He was sending me emails about threatening me. So I said, I have to do something because nothing is getting done. I'm stuck in Canada. I need to get home to Ghana. I need to get back to my family.
And
And
why can't you go to Ghana like right now? Is it a financial thing, or is it a immigration thing? Why you can't go?
yes, it's both. I mean, I paid $10,000 for this work permit, so I don't have, I guess I would have to get another visa now, a fresh visa, which is very upsetting. Um, and because there's no money, I just have no money left to even purchase a ticket to go back to that.
And
Um,
no
you-
money to bring them home, because
right.
what costs now to bring them home at this point?
Yes, exactly. He also took our passports as well. He ended up taking my father's and my daughter's passport. He still has them. So I had to, reach out to Canadian Embassy to replace their passports. And it's been a nightmare. Like it's been a nightmare going back and forth with the embassy. And it's just taking too long, and we have to pay for that too. I have to pay for it. I don't even know how to do that. Because the landlord kicked the family out of the house because Mr. Logic didn't pay the rent, I had to find money to get them a new place, and then I have to pay for this place here that I'm living in right now. I'm furnishing this place. I have to furnish the house over there. I have to make sure they're eating every day. I have to send money for them to eat. It's the money is just not there for me to even bring them home, to even get a ticket for them to come home. It's so bad. It's so bad. And I just feel stuck because I'm here and they're there.
Right. It would be a helpless feeling knowing that they're there, knowing that this threat's out here, knowing that the funds are limited, and we just have to get them home. That's
Yep,
like the main objective right now, is to get them home, and then we can pursue all of the other legal things. Uh,
exactly.
but I'm really sorry that this happened. And
Thank
as a
you.
Ghanaian, again, it is disheartening to hear everything was taken from you. And I just want to say, Ghana is a wonderful place. We're
Yes.
seeing on the news now the hundreds and hundreds of people that flew down there to get their citizenship. You know, it's a beautiful place. It's just unfortunately there are people like this that will prey on people they know are not from Ghana,
Yes.
you know, and they will start by winning your trust. And then once they win your trust and they have you, you know, they feel like you're, you know, he has your that confidence, you know what I mean? They turn and then everything goes south. And so I'm really sorry that this has happened to you. We definitely have to do everything to make sure your family gets home. And, you know, trying to defame your character, Mo, and making it seem like, you know, you're a woman scorned. Let's go over to you, Shelley. Why don't you tell us how you connected with Mr. Logic and also tell us how much you've been taken for?
Thank you for having me here and for me to give my story. We met Mr. Logic at the first time we actually met him was at the airport. Honestly, he rolled out the red carpet for us.
And what was he doing at the airport? Was he there to just receive you from?
He was there with Mo to meet us.
Now,
And
you came from the United States, correct?
yes,
And
yes.
where in the United States?
We were at that time living in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. And your husband is?
He's a former military veteran. He's a veteran now at this point. Yeah.
And your goal was to move to Ghana to just, was that where you wanted to retire and just live out your life and enjoy your
Our
life?
goal, our goal was to move to Ghana, yes, live, retire, but also we wanted to like open a group, like you say, a school, a boarding school for kids. My husband wanted to open his own music studio to, you know, bring in new talent. And open our son, because we have an 8-year-old, to a different way of living, you know, and seeing a different culture. Before we got there, we was, you know, got our housing, and he was the one that they were going through. So we send the money to Mo and to him to get our housing.
I just want to interject for a second because I think there's something we definitely need to clear out, which is I'm going to go back to Mo for a second. When Shelley met you at the airport with Mr. Logic, it's safe to say during that time he was still trustworthy and he was still, you know, everything was cool and everything, right? So you had recommended Mr. Logic to Shelley and her husband. Is that kind of how that
Yes,
came to
that's
be?
correct. Yeah,
I
that's
just want to
correct.
clear that up for the viewers because I don't want people thinking that, you know, you brought him knowing that he was a hustler because at that
Oh,
point
no, no,
you didn't know,
no,
right?
no, not at
So,
all. No. It
okay.
was so fresh for us knowing Mr. Logic. We've known Mr. Logic maybe not even 2 months before Shelly and her husband came.
Yeah, we were all getting to know him because he knew people at the airport, immigration, that kind of thing. So we were able to come through really freely. We felt like celebrities, actually, you know, the kind of, you know, love that we were given. And
From Mr. Logic?
yes, yes. I have to put that out there because the trust was right off the bat.
So it's
Yes.
safe to say that he's very endearing, he's very charming, you know,
Yes,
the way he
Correct.
presents is like
yes,
somebody that you can definitely trust.
Yes.
exactly. And the reason why we trust even more was that we were in Ghana.
Right.
So we were like,
The
okay, we are
motherland.
home.
Yeah.
No, you know, there's no reason to feel threatened or that anything would happen to us. You know, we felt like this was home. I mean, the mere fact that when we got off the plane, we cried, you know, because it felt like we are home. So there was no red flags to say, well, okay, we are walking into a lion's den.
So how much did he take you and your husband for?
So we then had a meeting a few days later, and he approached us and he said he has a record label and he's going to have Mo signed to his label. If we are interested, we can be a part of it. So with my husband being into music, he was like, okay, fine. Yeah, this sounds like what I really came here to do. He then informed us that in order for us to be a part of that, we would need to get our work permits. So we were like, okay, makes sense. In the United States, you can't work unless you are straight. So we are like, okay, that makes sense. So he told us, well, in order, it would be $3,000 each, myself, my husband, and our son. Now, we wasn't even thinking, why would my son need a work permit? We were thinking this was like permanent residency stuff. He said $3,000 each, and it would give us 3 years each. He said, after 3 years, we can then apply to become citizens. And we were like, okay, yeah, okay, no problem. Then a few weeks later, he said, oh, y'all gonna have to come and go to immigrations and bring your passports so you can get your fingerprinting. And we was like, okay, yeah, this, this is happening. So he took us to immigration, we did our fingerprint. The same week, he said, well, guys, you're gonna have to pay taxes. And my husband was like, taxes? Why do we have to pay taxes? And he said, oh, when you're working in Ghana, you got to pay taxes. And with his label, he has to pay taxes. And because we are foreigners international, like the tax is going to be even more. So it was 24,000 cedis for me, 24,000 cedis for my husband. So my husband keep pushing back. I'm like, we haven't even started to do anything work. Why are we paying taxes? And he said, that's the way how Ghana is. That's the government.
So I have a question. At any time, did you guys, both of you, Mo and Shelly, you just took his word for it? You didn't like decide to do any research for yourself to just find out what's the rules, what are the immigration rules, even before coming to Ghana from Canada in Mo's case and from Pennsylvania in Shelly in your case with your husband. Even when he was saying those things and it just didn't seem right, there was a red flag. At no point did you say, you know what? Let me go do my own research because this doesn't seem right.
Well, the reason why I think we took it by face value is several things, to be honest with you. As an American citizen, not by birth, I know there's a process. And I went through that process in the United States. And my husband did a lot of research. We didn't do no research about getting work permits because that was not what we was going to do when we left the United States. We were going to be of service. So when he told us that, there wasn't really a red flag. The only red flag we were iffy about really was the taxes.
He also did have documentation, and I'm sure it was fake, but he showed documentation with our names on it, stating that this is how much we have to pay per month for the taxes. And he showed me yours, Shelley. He showed me yours, and he showed me ours as well. So we just believed him. We saw like it was like a whole government document. So we
Yes,
just
we
believed.
were. We decided. He said it would have been $2,000 every month, but we decided to give the whole thing because we are on a budget. We are like, okay, we don't want to be doing the 2,000 every month, so let's go ahead and do the 24 for me, the 24 for my husband.
Ultimately, how much in total did he take from you, Shelley?
It could be a good 35 to 40,000.
So now that you are back in the United States, did you file a lawsuit against him? And where are you at with that case?
Well, before we left Ghana, after we found out what he was doing, we took the matter to the Adenta police station. While that was going on, they said that they would have requested him to come in for, to explain the accusations that we was bringing against him. However, we found out that he got to the Denton police state, well, got to whoever was there and was paying them to keep it on a, on a low. So when we found out, we took it then to headquarters. And that is where everything was filed, and it was then considered now a criminal investigation and a charge against him.
And
So
what happened? Was he arrested?
he never turned up for three times. We went and he never turned up. The judge said that she would put out a warrant for his arrest for not, turning up. He called us the Thursday, the case was the Friday. He called us the Thursday, called a friend of ours that was helping us the Thursday and asked if he could meet with us because he was willing to give us a check, 2 checks. We said, okay, we'll meet with him. We sat down, he talked, he said that, it was a misunderstanding, and he's covering everything excepting our money. So my husband asked him, so what about our money? I ain't trying to hear all of that. Where's our money? So he said he was willing to write us a check, but it will be 2 checks and we wouldn't be able to cash, the money wouldn't be in the account not till the following Wednesday. But he doesn't want, he want that when we go to court that next day, which was the Friday, he wants us to tell the judge that we settled it. So we were like, no, we are not doing that. On the Wednesday, when we went to cash the checks, the bank said there was no money. That we only had.
So I have to step in again. Why did you guys even believe this man?
We did not believe him.
And post-dated checks when he owes you money.
That is, and we knew that there was we just, because he still has people out there that he has under his spell. So if he had gotten the money, fine. But we weren't surprised that there wasn't any money. We weren't. When our friend, told him the checks was bounced, he said, oh, well, the person that was going to give me the money, they didn't come true and that kind of stuff. The reason he wrote those checks was because he did not want to turn up to court the next day.
So ultimately, you ended up going back home.
Ultimately, yes.
Okay, so as far as the court cases, like where are you at now with the court case?
When we got back here, my husband kept reaching out to the prosecutor. And from the time we got here, it just was no more conversation. The prosecutor never stopped returning our calls, stopped responding to the texts. And we, at this point, don't even know where he's at. Because
so you're basically out 48, almost 50,000 US dollars and nothing.
Nothing.
No action taken.
Nothing.
Let's talk about what the lesson is here with, being somebody that's not from Ghana and went down there to start a life and, trusted this person. What would you say to any other people who are planning to move to Ghana to start a life? The cautionary things.
Definitely. Definitely go and visit first. Go visit first. Build relationships with people, meet them in person, join diasporan groups. Don't just go out there on your own and expect the best, because you just never know. You just never know. This is a lesson learned, and I really hope that people see our experience and learn from this.
I know we probably have so many questions. Like, first of all, why would they trust Mr. Logic? And as you can hear, it sounds to me like he's a very charming person. He's a very convincing person. He seems to know a lot of people, has a lot of people in his back pocket, in the government, in the police force, and so on. But also what he did was he did a lot of things to win their trust, right? Now, I do think that in general, people should always exercise the same level of wisdom and, the thought process and the research before you go to any country, particularly if you're going there to live. You want to make sure you know all the rules, all the immigration rules for sure, and everything it takes to make sure that your transition is seamless and you don't end up in a situation where you're going to be deported, or, you end up having to go back because you get scammed by somebody like Mr. Logic. But at the end of the day, they trusted this man. They got scammed out of a lot of money. And at this point, there's no way to really recover it. And it's unfortunate because Ghana is really a beautiful place. You just have to be really careful about how you navigate when you're in a place that you don't live. Really, what you should do is just treat it the same way you would treat it if you're in the United States, like Shelley, or in Canada, like Mo. Is what would you do? Would you have somebody like this Mr. Logic managing your rent? Would you let this person be responsible, or would you go to an actual rental agency, or the landlord directly? Listen, if it's too good to be true, chances are it's not true. So that's a cautionary tale. You heard what Mo said is, the lesson, and what we as people should do if we, make that decision to move out of Canada or the United States to, a country in Africa or any other country, across the diaspora. We have to make sure that we do our homework and exercise wisdom. It's truly unfortunate that this has happened, but I am very thankful that both Mo and Shelly were willing to come on and tell their story and tell their side of the story and dispel any, rumors that are going out there, or at least Mr. Logic's response to Mo's claims that he threatened her life. And with Mo Spence, she does have a GoFundMe because she does need to get her family back to Canada. This is the GoFundMe. I'll also include the link in the description field. And let's help her get her family home. And hopefully, everything that's happened to her with Mr. Logic, she'll be made whole by that as well. And Shelley. So we pray for them all. It's truly unfortunate. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You can grab it at the Google or Apple store, or head over to africandiasporanews.org and download it there. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Black Experience with Emma Ansah.